Taipei Mayor Chiang joins protest, urges no confidence vote. K-pop star GYUBIN throws first pitch at Taipei Dome. Taiwan to unveil relief plan after U.S. tariff shock. California becomes first state to sue over Trump tariffs. French prisons targeted in drug-related terrorist attack. Puerto Rico plunged into darkness again. Gold hits fresh record high over trade war fears. World's first computer running on living human brain cells.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Friday, April 18th, World Heritage Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan-an joined a protest supporting KMT Taipei Chief Huanli Jingru, detained over an alleged forged petition case. Accusing the DPP of undermining Taiwan through unjust means, Jiang called for a non-confidence vote in Premier Zhou and suggested dissolving the legislature if President Lai refuses reform. Tensions rose as angry crowds gathered at the scene. K-pop singer GYUBIN made history as the first Korean celebrity to throw the ceremonial first pitch at a CPBL game, charming fans at the Taipei Dome. She showed off her mid-riff and danced after a successful pitch. Cheerleader Jun Yeon-bi also made a surprise appearance, while AI goddess Lee Jun-yeon practiced pitching at a local night market. Premier Jerome Tai said he was shocked by the U.S. move to impose a 32% tariff, calling it nearly overwhelming. Taiwan's $88 billion support plan will be announced April 21st and passed April 24th, with expanded items and input from affected industries to counter the global tariff impact led by Trump. And in global news, California Governor Gavin Newsom has filed a lawsuit challenging President Donald Trump's spate of tariffs that have upended global trade. The suit, which marks the first time a state has sued over the levies, challenges the emergency powers Trump cited to justify enacting them. California is the world's fifth largest economy, outpacing every U.S. state and most countries, and is home to the largest shares of manufacturing and agricultural production in the U.S.
This is recklessness at another level. The geopolitical impacts are outsized.
The White House, which has argued that the tariffs are addressing imbalances in international trade, dismissed the lawsuit and said it would continue addressing this national emergency that's decimating America's industries. Newsom and the state's Attorney General, Rob Bonta, announced the lawsuit at a news conference held at an almond farm. Nearly 82% of the world's almonds come from the Golden State. It's also the nation's sole producer of artichokes, figs, olives, walnuts, and raisins. Newsom argued that California has been disproportionately affected by the tariffs, which is why the state, having already filed 15 lawsuits against Trump since January, is leading the charge against the levies.
France's Justice Minister said Tuesday that gun and arson attacks on at least 6 prisons around the country were acts of terrorism directed at security officials responsible for guarding some of the nation's most hardened crime kingpins. Visiting Toulon prison in southern France, whose entrance was shot at with an AK-47 automatic rifle, Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin said he could not be sure whether the attacks were linked to government efforts to crack down on France's fast-growing drug trade.
Je vais vous dire, heureusement que derrière la porte, on n'avait pas de personnel en véhicule ou à pied.
But he said authorities were making life much harder for imprisoned gangsters and that the government would not shy away from tackling drug crime, which has boosted support for the far right. Years of record South American cocaine imports to Europe have transformed local drug markets, sparking a wave of violence. Despite record cocaine seizures in France, gangs are reaping windfalls as they expand from traditional power bases in cities such as Marseille into smaller towns unaccustomed to drug violence. Darmanin, who plans to create new high-security prisons to crack down on gangsters running their empires from behind bars, said at least 6 prisons had been targeted.
Puerto Rico was hit by another massive power outage Wednesday, leaving the U.S. territory in the dark for the second time in 4 months. Local power authorities, Genera and Luma, reported a system failure at approximately 12:40 p.m. that affected service island-wide. In a post on X, Luma Energy said it could take 2 to 3 days to restore service to 90% of customers, and that the current priority is restoring power to critical facilities, such as the Central Medical Hospital in the capital, San Juan.
The private power company, which is responsible for power transmission on the island, said the massive outage appeared to have been caused by a combination of factors, including a failure in the protection system as the initial trigger, and vegetation on a transmission line between the areas of Campolesh and Manati along the northern coast. Luma said, this sequence of failures triggered a chain of events that resulted in an island-wide outage. The outage affected 1.4 million customers of Luma Energy, impacting 76% of its customer base. The island's aging power infrastructure has long been a source of frustration for residents, who face frequent outages and some of the highest electricity rates in the U.S.
Gold has jumped to a fresh record high as investors fret over the impact of the trade war between the U.S. and China. Spot gold rose above $3,500 per ounce on Wednesday before dipping from its peak. It has risen by around 30% since the start of the year. The latest move comes after the head of the U.S. Central Bank said President Donald Trump's tariff policies are likely to mean slower growth and higher prices. The precious metal is viewed as a safer asset for investors during times of economic uncertainty.
Gold crossed $3,000 an ounce for the first time last month as uncertainty over the impact of a global trade war set in. Jesper Kahl from advisory firm Monix Group said investors have flocked to gold as a trust hedge against both inflation and government recklessness. Everyone is looking for real assets. It's increasingly clear that Team Trump's move fast and break things approach to policymaking will not change. The tariffs, which are taxes charged on businesses importing goods from overseas, have fueled fears of inflation, which has driven investors to so-called safe haven assets like gold.
The world's first biological computer, which fuses human brain cells with silicon hardware to form fluid neural networks, has been commercially launched, ushering in a new age of AI technology. The CL1 from Australian company Cortical Labs offers a whole new kind of computing intelligence, one that is more dynamic, sustainable, and energy efficient than any AI that currently exists. We will start to see its potential when it's in users' hands in the coming months.
Cortical Labs is a company that's developed the world's first biological computer. And what I mean by biological computer is that unlike using artificial neural networks, we grow real biological neurons into networks onto computer chips.
Known as Synthetic Biological Intelligence, SBI, Cortical's CL1 system was officially launched in Barcelona on March 2, 2025, and is expected to be a game-changer for science and medical research. The human cell neural networks that form on the silicon chip are essentially an ever-evolving organic computer, and the engineers behind it say it learns so quickly and flexibly that it completely outpaces the silicon-based AI chips used to train existing large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT. These remarkable brain cell biocomputers could revolutionize everything from drug discovery and clinical testing to how robotic intelligence is built, allowing unlimited personalization depending on the need.
The answer for yesterday was C, revenue. After launching the new product line, the company saw a significant increase in its revenue. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. French prisons targeted in drug-related terrorist attack. Number 1, seizure. 没收查封. The police made several drug seizures last month. Number 2, unaccustomed. 不习惯的. She was unaccustomed to the cold weather after moving from the tropics. Number 3, reap. 收割获得收获. You reap what you sow. Now we have a question for you. You can write your answer in the comment section, and the correct answer will be announced next week. What is popularly known as World Heritage Day is actually called the International Day for Monuments and Sites and was established in 1982 by the International Council for Monuments and Sites. The organization was founded after a need was identified to protect these valued locations, and it saw the coming together of experts from hundreds of related fields. Thank you for tuning in to today's Funday News. You can watch our Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, and I'll see you next time.